Chicago's bats exploded for 19 runs in Seattle. Fernando Tatis Jr. went deep twice in San Diego, and two clubs kept their win streaks alive. It was a loaded Sunday across the majors. The Tampa Bay Rays picked up a 3-1 road win over the Baltimore Orioles, riding a strong start from Nick Martinez, who allowed 0 earned runs over 6 innings with 4 strikeouts to pick up the win. Brian Baker locked things down with a 1-inning save to close it out. Offensively, Tampa Bay got contributions across the lineup, with Chandler Simpson, Johnny DeLuca, Liam Hicks, Jonathan Aranda, Yandy Diaz, and Junior Caminero all recording hits. Baltimore's lone run came via a solo home run from Colton Cowser, who was the only Orioles hitter to reach base with a hit all afternoon. The rest of the lineup, including Gunnar Henderson, Jackson Holliday, and Pete Alonso, was held in check by Tampa Bay's pitching staff. It was a tough day for Alonso specifically, whose 14-game hitting streak came to an end in the loss. With Martinez cruising and the bullpen slamming the door, the Rays controlled this one from the middle innings on and never let Baltimore threaten for the equalizer. The Philadelphia Phillies extended their winning streak to 9 straight games with a 6-4 win over the St. Louis Cardinals. Kyle Schwarber went deep for Philadelphia, while Jose Furman answered with a solo shot of his own for St. Louis, but it wasn't enough to slow the Phillies down. Alex McFarlane picked up the win with a scoreless inning of relief. Philadelphia got hits up and down the order, with Brandon Marsh, Brian De La Cruz, Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto, Edmundo Souza, and Schwarber all reaching base. The Louis countered with a balanced attack of its own. Jordan Walker, Furman, J.J. Weatherholt, Blaze Jordan, Alec Burleson, Ramon Urias, Pedro Pegues, and Ivan Herrera all had hits, and Walker and Weatherholt both swiped a bag. But the story was Philadelphia's continued dominance, now winners of 9 in a row. The only quiet bat in a scorching Philadelphia lineup was Luis Ariz, whose 9-game hitting streak came to an end despite the win. Philadelphia keeps rolling and shows no signs of slowing down. The New York Yankees blasted the Toronto Blue Jays 8-3 behind home runs from Jazz Chisholm Jr. and Trent Grisham. Paul Blackburn earned the win despite a short 2-inning outing, allowing no runs as part of a bullpen-heavy effort that got the job done. New York's offense was clicking throughout, with Spencer Jones, Austin Wells, Ben Rice, Cody Bellinger, Chisholm, Grisham, and George Lombard Jr. all picking up hits. Toronto got a lift from George Springer, Miles Straw, Alejandro Kirk, and Kazuma Okamoto, who each had a hit, but the Blue Jays couldn't keep pace with the Yankees' power. Kirk continues to swing a hot bat regardless of the loss. He's now hit safely in 12 straight games, one of the longer active streaks in baseball. New York's lineup depth and the 2 long balls from Chisholm and Grisham were the difference in a comfortable Bronx win. The Miami Marlins beat the Washington Nationals 6-2 in a game where the offense did the heavy lifting for the home team. Michael Peterson picked up the win despite toss in just a third of an inning, striking out 1. Miami spread hits throughout the lineup, with Griffin Canine, Heriberto Hernandez, Jacob Marcy, Javier Sanoja, Davison de los Santos, Xavier Edwards, Agustin Ramirez, and Joe Mack all reaching base safely. Washington got hits from Jorbit Vivas, Dylan Cruz, Dalen Lyle, and Keibert Ruiz, but couldn't string together enough offense to keep pace. Neither team homered, and the game was decided more by Miami's contact-heavy lineup than any single big swing. The Marlins improve with a clean, efficient win at home, while Washington drops another as they continue searching for consistency at the plate. The Kansas City Royals outlasted the Detroit Tigers 11-7 in a slugfest, extending their winning streak to 8 straight games. Nick Lofton was the offensive engine, going 3 for 4 with 4 RBI and a home run, while John Rave also went deep and swiped 2 bags in the same game. Salvador Perez, Kyle Isbell, and Bobby Witt Jr. each stole a base as well, giving Kansas City 4 steals on the night to go with the power. Detroit got a home run from Kevin McGonigal and Corey Julks, Zach McKinstry, Hao-Yu Lee, Eduardo Valencia, Javier Baez, McGonigal, Gleyber Torres, and Max Clark all had hits, with Ben Mallory and Clark chipping in stolen bases. John Traber worked 2/3 of an inning to pick up the win for Kansas City. It was a track meet at Kauffman Stadium, with both lineups combining for 18 runs, but the Royals' power and speed proved too much for a Tigers club that battled to the end. Lofton's 4 RBI day and Rave's 2 steal game were the headline fantasy performances, and Kansas City now has 8 straight wins and counting. The Athletics stole a 7-6 win on the road over the Houston Astros in a game defined by home runs and a standout pitching line that ultimately wasn't enough for the home team. Christian Javier was electric for Houston, striking out 8 over 4 innings, but Houston's bullpen couldn't hold the lead as the A's rallied. Brian Serven and Max Muncy both went deep for Oakland, while Isaac Paredes and Jose Altuve answered with home runs of their own for the Astros. Henry Bold paced the Athletics' offense going 3 for 5, and Jack Perkins worked 5 innings, allowing just 1 earned run with 6 strikeouts to earn the win, with Hogan Harris closing it out for the save. Houston's lineup was productive too, with Dalton Varsho, Altuve, Taylor Trammell, Jeremy Pena, Christian Walker and Yordan Alvarez all recording hits, but 4 total home runs, and Houston's late-game bullpen letdown proved decisive. Bolt's multi-hit game was one of the better fantasy lines of the day in a wild back-and-forth affair. The Chicago White Sox edged the New York Mets 2-1 in a tight pitchers' duel decided by 1 swing. Tristan Peters provided the difference with a solo home run and also stole a base, giving him a productive day at the plate for the Southsiders. Grant Taylor worked 1 inning and allowed a run but still picked up the win for Chicago. Andrew Benintendi, Sam Antonacci, and Miguel Vargas also had hits for the White Sox. New York got hits from Carson Bench, Francisco Lindor, Lewis Robert Jr., Jared Young, and A.J. Ewing, but the Mets couldn't scratch across a second run against Chicago's pitching staff. It was a low-scoring, tightly contested game from start to finish, with Peters' homer standing as the only extra base power either side could muster, and it was enough to hand Chicago the narrow win. Texas Rangers held off the Los Angeles Angels 5-3 behind home runs from Ezequiel Duran and Elias Diaz. Cal Quantrill was outstanding on the mound, going 6 shutout innings with 6 strikeouts to earn the win, and Jacob Latz closed it out with a 1-inning save. Jake Burger added a stolen base for Texas, while Wyatt Langford, Corey Seager, Duran, Cody Freeman, Diaz, and Logan O'Hoppe all had hits in the win. Los Angeles got a home run from Zach Neto and hits from Jose Siri, Gustavo Campero, Neto, Christian Moore, Mike Trout, Moises Ballesteros, and Vaughn Grissom, but couldn't overcome the deficit built by Quantrill's dominant start. Texas controlled this one thanks to its ace-caliber pitching performance and a pair of long balls that provided all the cushion they'd need. The Cleveland Guardians rolled past the Colorado Rockies 7-2, powered by a big day from Chase DeLauter, who went 3 for 4 with 2 RBI. Foster Griffin worked 5 innings and allowed 2 earned runs with 4 strikeouts to pick up the win. Brain Rocchio and Angel Martinez both stole bases for Cleveland, and the Guardians got additional hits from Austin Hedges, Nathaniel Lowe, Joe Adell, Stephen Kwan, and Martinez to back up Griffin's outing. Colorado managed hits from Jake McCarthy, Troy Johnston, Willie Castro, Jordan Beck, Brett Sullivan, Ezequiel Tovar, and Connor Morby, but couldn't generate enough offense to hang with Cleveland's balanced attack. No home runs were hit in this one. It was DeLauter's multi-hit, multi-RBI day and Cleveland's all-around depth that made the difference in a comfortable road win. The Boston Red Sox held on for a 5-4 win over the San Francisco Giants in a game that came down to the final outs. Seton Raffilla was the offensive star, going 3 for 4 with 2 RBI and a stolen base, while Nick Sogard also homered for Boston. Jake Bennett was excellent on the mound, working 7 innings and allowing 3 earned runs with 6 strikeouts to pick up the win, and Aroldis Chapman slammed the door with a 1-inning save. Jahmai Jones, Connor Wong, Andrew Monasterio, Mickey Gasper, and Sogard also had hits for Boston. San Francisco got a home run from Jonah Cox and hits from Cox, Victor Bricotto, Buddy Kennedy, Christian Koss, Willie Adams, and Bryce Eldridge, but a late push fell just short. Raffilla's multi-hit, multi-RBI day paired with a strong start from Bennett and a clean save from Chapman were enough for Boston to survive a tight one. The Los Angeles Dodgers blanked the Pittsburgh Pirates 4-0 behind a dominant outing from Blake Snell, who tossed 6 shutout innings with 6 strikeouts to earn the win. Shohei Ohtani added a stolen base, and Kyle Tucker, Freddie Freeman, Hunter Fiducia, Mookie Betts, and Alek Thomas all chipped in hits to back up Snell's gem. Pittsburgh managed only a handful of hits from Spencer Horwitz and Brandon Lowe, with Nick Gonzalez stealing a base, but the Pirates never found a rhythm against Snell's dominant stuff. No home runs were hit in this one. It was pure pitching from Snell that carried Los Angeles to a clean shutout win, keeping Pittsburgh off the board the entire afternoon. The win came in front of 44,092 fans at Dodger Stadium and wrapped up in a brisk 2 hours and 34 minutes, one of the most efficient shutouts of the season for a Dodgers club leaning on frontline pitching. The Chicago Cubs delivered the most lopsided result of the day, demolishing the Seattle Mariners 19-2 on the road in an offensive explosion that saw 4 different Cubs go deep. Pedro Ramires was the headline performer, going 3 for 6 with 5 RBI, while Michael Conforto, Ian Happ, and Pete Crow Armstrong also homered as Chicago's lineup battered Seattle's pitching staff from start to finish. Aaron Civale worked 4 scoreless innings to pick up the win, and the Cubs added speed to the power display with stolen bases from Crow Armstrong and Seiya Suzuki. Nearly every Chicago hitter reached base, with Conforto, Tyrone Taylor, Happ, Ramires, Michael Busch, Carson Kelly, Crow Armstrong, Gabriel Arias, Suzuki, Kevin Alcantara, and Nico Hoerner all recording hits. Seattle's lone bright spot was a solo home run from Randy Arozarena, and Victor Robles provided a spark with 2 stolen bases, but it was nowhere near enough to slow down a Cubs offense that hummed 19 runs on the board. Josh Naylor, Weston Wilson, Arozarena, Dominic Canzone, and Cal Raleigh all had hits for the Mariners in the loss, but Seattle's pitching simply couldn't contain a Chicago lineup that was clicking on every level. Ramires' 5 RBI day and Robles' 2 steal game were 2 of the best individual fantasy performances anywhere in baseball on the day, and this one stands as the most dominant, statistically loaded win of the entire slate. The San Diego Padres routed the Minnesota Twins 8-1. Powered by a monster day from Fernando Tatis Jr., who went 4 for 5 with 2 home runs and 4 RBI, plus a stolen base for good measure. Jackson Merrill also went deep for San Diego, and Walker Buehler was excellent on the mound, working 6 innings and allowing just 1 earned run with 4 strikeouts to earn the win. Luis Rengifo, Merrill, Manny Machado, Tatis, Xander Bogaerts, and Jake Cronenworth all had hits as San Diego's offense clicked on all cylinders. Minnesota's only real answer was a solo home run from Brooks Lee, with Alan Rodin, Kalen Culpepper, Byron Buxton, and Luke Keeschall also picking up hits, but the Twins never threatened after San Diego jumped out front. Tatis' 2-homer, 4 RBI, stolen base day was one of the signature individual performances of the day across baseball and a huge boost for anyone rostering him in fantasy leagues, headlining a comfortable, complete win for the Padres. The Arizona Diamondbacks beat the Cincinnati Reds 5-3, getting the win from Jonathan Loaisiga, who struck out 1 over a scoreless inning, with Kevin Ginkel closing it out for the save. No home runs were hit in this one, but Arizona spread hits throughout the lineup with Jordan Lawler, Tim Tawa, Ildemaro Vargas, Geraldo Perdomo, and Corbin Carroll all reaching base. Cincinnati got hits from Elly De La Cruz, Sal Stewart, Dane Myers, Tyler Stephenson, Eugenio Suarez, and Hector Rodriguez, and pushed across 3 runs, but couldn't complete the comeback against Arizona's bullpen. It was a steady, well-rounded win for the Diamondbacks, who got just enough offense to support a bullpen effort that shut the door late and secured the save for Ginkel. The Atlanta Braves beat the Milwaukee Brewers 4-2, getting a home run from Michael Harris, Roman 2, and a strong start from Tyler Mull, who worked 5 innings and allowed 1 earned run with 4 strikeouts to earn the win. Raisel Iglesias closed it out with a save, working 1.1 innings to seal the victory. Ronald Acuna Jr. and Austin Riley each swiped a bag for Atlanta, and Mauricio Dubon, Drake Baldwin, Sean Murphy, Acuna, Ozzie Albies, Riley, and Lane Thomas all had hits for the Braves. Milwaukee got production from Jackson Chourio, Christian Yelich, Jake Bowers, Andrew Vaughn, William Contreras, Bryce Turang, and Luis Lara, but couldn't complete a comeback against Atlanta's bullpen. Harris' home run and a complete effort on both sides of the ball were enough for the Braves to escape Milwaukee with a road win. Alejandro Kirk continues to swing it well, extending his hitting streak to 12 straight games for Toronto despite the loss. On the team side, Philadelphia has been the hottest club in baseball, now winners of 9 straight, while Kansas City isn't far behind after reeling off 8 consecutive wins of their own. Meanwhile, Arizona's Gabriel Moreno saw his impressive 15-game hitting streak come to an end. Fantasy managers had plenty to like today. Fernando Tatis Jr. put up a monster line with 2 home runs for San Diego, while speed was on full display as both John Rave and Victor Robles swiped 2 bags apiece in their respective games. Nick Lofton was a source of stats gold, going 3 for 4 with 4 RBI for Kansas City and chased a lot or chipped in a 3 for 4, 2 RBI day for Cleveland. Any of these performances would have been a huge boost for lineups across the board today. That's a wrap on today's action around the league. Hit subscribe so you never miss a recap.